Hello, sir. Hold on. Let me put in my headphones.
Yeah,
Hold
sure,
on.
absolutely. That's kind of why
Hold on.
we do. Yeah, I'm holding on. We're holding on.
This happened on Tuesday, and we know it was really hot that day. Hot car. Joining us live in the Alert Center.
How long did you last in a hot car?
Facts that the heat index that day was 105 degrees. Hot car.
We don't yet know about a potential third suspect who was seen speeding away from federal agents at the scene. The whole thing had been a mystery to neighbors.
Hot car.
This is not an accident. This is pure negligence.
All right. So the reason we wanted to get together and talk today, just because I think we should probably do this as often as possible. Specifically today, I thought it was something I've been thinking about, the idea of the transportation industry associated with TTI and other transportation needs for like adult prisons and stuff, and prisoner transportation. Same companies, in a lot of cases.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at least one that I found. I found 4 that I wanted to look into.
Okay.
Excuse me. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're called Safe Passage Adolescent Services. Ready Transports, REDI Transports. Next Step Youth Transport Services. And Journeys Adolescent Services. Now, what all of these places and other transportation companies claim to do are these core services. Safe and secure transportation for troubled teens, trained staff for teen safety, and communication with parents and professionals. Those are basically the ideas that they're saying that they provide.
Right.
And the features that all of these companies claim to also have are a focus on safe and secure transportation, trained staff for teen safety, again, and well, it's basically the same thing. Just effective communication with everybody involved.
Apart from the kid, of course, because the kid doesn't have a say at all.
Right. If you notice that, there's no mention of any communication with the kid or with
Right.
at all. Like they're really not involved as far as like any of the decisions are concerned.
And in fact, they're not notified either that they're coming. In most
Oftentimes
cases.
that is the case. I don't think it's always true. I've heard of
No.
I've heard of people getting heads up, and I know that
Sure.
I know that, like, say in the case of someone like Chelsea, she knew in advance, essentially, especially because of how she was being transported. It was she was getting on a plane and saying goodbye to her family.
Right.
Different situation, but in this case, we're looking at basically vans and vehicles that will show up at your house and get your kid, preferably in the middle of the night, and then whisk them away, either in zip tie, handcuffs perhaps, or something along those lines. Often is the case for extra, security. So they'll get you in and whisk you away off to God knows where, and that's their job, So that happens, more or less, but the issues aren't with the actual services, because they could be consensual. All these things can happen with everyone's informed consent, but that isn't how these things work.
No.
The way they do work is just that these professionals come in and they have contracts with everybody involved, with the often with the state, the private institution that the kids are going to, and the parents. So they're all legal as far as like what they're supposed to be allowed to do, which is to safely move person from point A to point B. That's pretty much the end of the story as far as what they're supposed to be doing, and doing it safely and securely and professionally and all that stuff. So what I wanted to kind of look into were these 4 companies, just to kind of see, what they were all about, and who operates these places, and who are they, and do you really trust handing over your child to these people? Because to be honest, you don't know who they are. I mean,
right.
You're just trusting that they say who they are. They say that they are who they are. I don't know. I just can't think of any good reason to pay money to have your kid taken away like this. That money could be spent elsewhere, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean it's a bit shocking, and it's another level, that's for sure. Another level of parenting.
Right. So there's the first place I wanted to look at is called Safe Passage Global.
Okay.
They're a division of Hunter Investigations. See, this is important to realize too, that a lot of these transportation services also function as private investigation companies, and oftentimes they were private investigators before they were transportation companies too. They kind of roll a lot of that into one thing, because they also claim to find people as well as transport them. They're almost like they are trying to be like a private marshal service. We'll not only move your kid, we'll find your kid and take your kid to where you want them to be. Or and so I'm not going to read all their stuff, like who we are, we're this and that, and we do this and that.
Yeah.
Because they're all the same, it's like, but the interesting thing is when you look at their own websites, there you see all the services offered and who we are, and a word from Holly, we'll look at a word from the owner, Holly Hunter. Okay. This is Safe Passage Global, and they prioritize the transportation of children. And on their website, they have all of these really beautiful pictures. It looks like a mom hugging a daughter.
Yes, I can see. I'm looking now. Yeah.
So if you go to the from the owner, Holly Hunter, there's a picture of this lady, and she writes, "I do this work because this is my calling. If I could be present in each one of your homes when your child is moved, I would be. Since that is not possible, know that I am praying for you, for your sons and for your daughters, and for the team that will assist your family. My prayer is that they will be all covered in God's hedge of protection, that each child will come to a place of calm and trust, and that each child's heart and mind will be open to the opportunity you are providing." And then there's a Bible quote. Yeah. So, tying in like the religious aspects is also kind of strange to me too, because again, what we were talking about is these people and their job being to move person from point A to point B. I have no idea what any religious aspect has to do with that. I mean, seriously.
Right.
What is that? That doesn't make any sense to me. And it should be a big red flag. Even if you are religious or, a Christian, it should be a big red flag because that really shouldn't have anything to do with, we're recording again, so here we go. All right, so right.
That's pretty fucking nuts.
Remember, this is, it really is. Okay, so the company that we're talking about, just to remind everybody, is Safe Passage Transport, or they call themselves
Safe Passage
Global. Right. But you see the URL is safepassagetransport.com.
I do.
Right. They also are called Safe Passage Adolescent Services, too.
Yes.
So, but yeah, these people claim to be able to read minds, which is pretty incredible. And there is more too that because I was going to move away from the website, but I'm glad you found that. They are also, in the thing right above it that they're trained in verbal de-escalation and para-verbal communication is really pretty high level. It's a pretty high level skill set to have to be able to do that. It's not something that you just know how to, like verbal de-escalation. It can be really tricky. It's so easy to re-escalate things by saying the wrong word.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know, what's para-verbal communication? Is that more of that bullshit like we can read your body language kind of stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, it's woo, I think.
I'm going to look it up because I'm curious. Because that's not really a phrase you come across very often. Okay. It's the it's the thing that everyone always gets in trouble for. It's tone, pitch, pace of the speech that you're giving. So it's one of those areas that, if if a teen or anybody is under any kind of stress, they may be more rapid speech, or it may be pressed or loud, that kind of thing. Doesn't always necessarily mean that's the message that the person is trying to convey. It may just be fear. There's a lot of this stuff that, a person coming into a child's bedroom in the middle of the night they don't even need to be fluent in any of these practices because it's not their job, for one thing. Their job is not to de-escalate a situation. Their job is to safely secure a kid. And I don't imagine that involves a whole bunch of talking. No?
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
We can talk to individual survivors and their own experiences with like transportation specifically, but my guess would be not a whole lot of bargaining with things like that are going on. Like, okay, if I just sit up real slowly, then will you be like, no, they're trying to get in and out. These people have. These transportation professionals, they have families at home they want to get back to. They're not trying to spend all night dealing with some kid who is reluctant to leave.
Right.
That's not the idea. In fact, if I think one of these transportation people were to try to do stuff like that, they would be fired.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not your job.
Correct.
Interesting. Okay. All right. We heard the word from Holly. Okay. We know that the Safe Passage Global trademark agents. You notice that the little trademark. Jesus. At Safe Passage, our priority is your family. We will only send agents that meet our extensive criteria and training requirements. So, I mean, I think maybe a further investigation would be to find out what those training requirements are and
Yeah.
how that works.
Yeah,
I would imagine they'd really want someone with like a CDL, a lot of like, on the road truck driving or taxi service stuff. A driver. They want drivers.
Yeah.
And they also want someone who's not squeamish, who can be willing to go into a kid's bedroom in the middle of the night and steal them. So you get this other side. So you get drivers, but then you need that other aspect. So who's that? That's probably like bounty hunter types or wannabe bounty hunter types.
Yeah, I can see Dog doing one of those.
Not real bounty hunter types. Now, it's the type. It's the wannabe who is certainly not going to try to go out on his own and find people. Kind of like the call's coming in and we got to go get this guy. No.
Yeah.
The call's coming in and it's your employer and they have an assignment for you and you're going to go get the kid. That's so much easier. And you don't really have to.
Yeah.
You can pretend to be a bounty hunter, but you don't have to do all that extra hard work, especially dealing with reluctant adults. who don't want to go away. They don't. They want to, right. Okay, so that's a pretty good, I think, picture of who these people are. Especially the drivers, the cowboys. I guess I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but I have this feeling like they got to have this attitude. Where they're like, yeah, we're out there doing it.
Yeah. Because they kind of roll up to the house at night quietly and go and they get let in and they sneak into the kid's bedroom and then they surprise.
Yeah.
And then they wrestle them sometimes and hogtie them.
Right.
And,
probably a lot of times with like lights out, like little like pen lights and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's super disorienting and you can't even see like the figures. All you see is like little bright lights and you're being manipulated and your hands are behind your back all of a sudden and you're being carried and then suddenly you get burst out into like the light of like the house and you realize what's going on and you're being like literally carried out by 2 or 3 people like a sack of potatoes out your front door. Yeah, that's amazing, right? And you're wiggling around like a fish. They put a bag over your head?
No, but
if you're a spinner?
That's true. Yeah, maybe
they'll bag you.
Spitter,
they'll bag you up. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine like that can't be totally out of the realm of possibilities.
Do you think they have like a utility belt with all of their tools that they use for this?
They definitely have like bear spray, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Wow. For the 12-year-old. For the 12-year-old girl.
And hog tie, lassos and those pin lights and the bag.
Yeah, I wonder if they get I wonder if there are issues with like, I don't know, say like a 16-year-old naked girl.
They make you put on clothes.
I would hope so.
In your bedroom.
I would hope so.
In front of them.
You're looking, but they're staring at you though.
Yeah.
That's really gross.
It's pretty bad.
They like it though.
Of course.
So
they're cowboys.
They're doing the Lord's work, hunters. According to Holly D. Hunter.
Right?
I'm looking at her LinkedIn right now, actually. I moved on to her LinkedIn.
What did she do before this?
Okay, so she is the owner at Safe Passage Global, and she went to the University of Georgia. God bless her. And they have the about section. It says, my first case involved locating a missing child who had been kidnapped in 1995. The firm I was working with at the time put together a team of investigators who located the child 8 months later, alive and well, on an island in the South Pacific.
Wow.
Criminal and civil investigations, that's it. Well, that's interesting. That's it? I mean, that sounded like a really interesting story she was about to tell. And then it goes on to...
And then she cut off. Yeah.
No, and then it gets cut off. Criminal and civil investigations come in all shapes and sizes. And I have worked undercover as a supervisor in a warehouse, undercover in a gym, and undercover as a cleaning lady at some rental property. In order to obtain the information pertinent to the case, we are careful to adhere to the law, work within the governing rules, and stay within federal regulations and never pretext. Wait a minute.
Huh.
Well, pretext is the undercover part, right? I mean...
Right.
So this lady... Well, it's just good to know what she says about herself. That's just insane. I've worked undercover as a supervisor in a warehouse, undercover in a gym, and undercover as a cleaning lady at some rental property, period. Okay? This lady owns a transportation service. Okay. So...
Okay.
She's owned this company for 16 years and 11 months, since February 27, out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Safe Passage Global, formerly Safe Passage Adolescent Services, provides solutions for parents who need assistance in accompanying their loved ones to treatment. That's, well... see, this is also wrong, too. That's not what they do. They don't assist parents who need help accompanying their loved ones to treatment. They don't go with them.
No.
During the 2022 legislative session in Utah, SB 0239 passed with flying colors, and as a result, a transport company registry and structured requirements for insurance, background checks, and business license exists. So apparently they didn't before that in Utah.
Right.
This is new.
Yeah.
So it says, we're proud to be part of this historic shift and continue to lead the way in best practices and standards. Okay. All right. So this is one of those, sounds like one of those, please regulate us. You know, please, there's some of that with the National Troubled Teen Bill, too. As good as it, you know, some of that disclosure stuff might be, there is a lot of the industry itself kind of behind it, because it allows them to appear like they're doing the right thing.
Right.
So people should be aware of that too, because sometimes you'll see the very people that are trying to be regulated seemingly behind wanting to be regulated, but it's not exactly how that works. It's kind of like the SBF thing, where he was kind of pushing for this light regulation of the crypto industry in order to shield himself from further more scrupulous investigations that eventually got him.
Right.
That it didn't. Yeah. Okay. So then, and then she's also owner of Hunter Investigations. Right. All that. She. Okay. So it says University of Georgia. She took. It looks like she went from 2000 to 2001, continuing education in the field of private investigations. So what that means is that means she has no degree. She probably took a course or two in like criminal justice at like the probably, the 100 level, like anything you could find at like a community college. I mean, I've taken those courses.
Yeah.
Where, you go in and you find out the basics of how criminal investigations are done, in police stations and with investigations and what they look for and, all that basic stuff that you'd find anywhere.
Right.
And it even says continuing education, which means that it's not even the University of Georgia, really. It's some kind of like, what do you call it? What's the word? Extension. It's like, oh, you went to Harvard? No, you went to the Harvard Extension. It doesn't have really anything to do with like the university itself. It's
right.
It's kind of like, anyway, yeah, it's that. And then 1976 to 1978, Mercer University. She was on the tennis team, and she danced ballet when she was a young lady going to school. No degree, no certifications of any kind. She's a Christian life coach. So she is a Christian life coach. So there's that. I can't say she's not that. It says so right here. And and then also, for whatever reason, her under licenses and certification, the Christian life coach, granted. And then also, it says crisis management intervention as a license or a certificate. But that doesn't exist. Unfortunately, that's also not true. Because if it was true, it would say exactly what that was from. But there is no there is no license. There is no certificate.
Right.
Yeah, she's lying.
Of
this
course.
is the lady who owns the company that transports the kids.
Yeah.
She's
lying.
She's lying. And that might conclude this first company.
Cool.
Yeah. Unless I found, there might be, I have several tabs open, so there might be another thing that pops up that like their company did something bad. I mean, I know there's a few of the four here, but I think that in her case, it's just incompetence and lying about who the people are, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. Probably one of the better ones, in fact. Which
yeah,
is
probably.
Odd. That's not a great recommendation.
Not saying much, is it?
No. Oh, that's the good one. Okay, let's look at another company.
Okay.
All right. So this is Journeys Adolescent Services, LLC. Journeys. Oh, yeah. And what do they do? All right.
Are they connected with some type of wilderness program called Journeys?
Okay. All right. They are, okay, I've got their website. Teen Crisis Intervention Transport Escorts. Okay. So, their website, you want to pull up their website? It's jastransportservices.com. Like Journeys Adolescent Services, JAS Transport Services.
Okay, let me pull that up.
Because it's
JAS.
Yeah.
JAS
Transport Services.
Transport Services.
Because it's real bad. I mean, their website is just like, are you kidding me? That's the first thing that hit me.
Oh shit!
Right. I mean,
holy shit! I could hack the fuck out of that.
Right. That just looks like a nightmare. Like immediately.
Yeah.
Like look at the picture and the road.
Yeah.
Like, they're driving you to hell apparently.
Yeah.
And then the kid in the hallway. I don't know what that guy's doing. Probably trying to get away from you, or from the transport guy.
They're upset. Whatever they're up to, they're not happy.
Maybe that kid's not upset. Maybe he's just chilling. That's the thing.
Maybe
you put a
maybe they're
picture
high.
like that, and then you make all kinds of assumptions about why that kid is sitting in the hallway there.
Yeah.
Maybe he could just be sitting there. What if he just ran a marathon and won?
Well, interesting enough, if you click on bios, you get all the names of the agents.
Yeah, and you notice something with all these names. None of them have last names.
No.
Aha.
They just have letters.
Aha. But if you go over to contact, you see, there's additional contact information. Like, what's that? Haas, you see this name, like email addresses. Like, well, how does that relate? Can you go back to the bios? And wait a minute. Okay, so what about Jason D? Jason D? I don't know. Jason D and Adele F for some reason are together. If you see that?
No.
Second row.
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah. They're together.
But
they must be married.
There's still no last names, though, which is tricky. But
no.
You know what I discovered is that if I Google Jason Journey's Adolescent Services, actually, I binged it.
Ooh.
I binged it. What happens is LinkedIn shows up. You know, it's like the second one down from Jason Davison, Director, Journey's Adolescent Services. Hey, look at that. We got him. And he's the director at Journey's Adolescent Services, LLC, in Layton, Utah. There he is. We found him. But there's really no information there yet at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's like auto-generated almost.
Yeah.
But so there's that, and that's not very exciting. But and that's his only experience. But then there's an endorsement endorsed by Michael Kaminsky, who is highly skilled at this, at public speaking. He endorsed. Okay, so a guy who is highly skilled at public speaking endorsed Jason Davidson. Why? Oh, it didn't say why. It says he's highly skilled at public speaking, but Michael Kaminsky is a director at LDS Church. Imagine that. Oh, okay. And then there's another endorsement by some other guy who's apparently, he calls himself a life advisor, husband, father, and servant. So those are the two endorsements for the director of this transportation company. That he's skilled in public speaking.
It's interesting because I'm looking at some of these other names, like Elliot S.
Yeah.
Who's on the second row, like midway down.
Okay.
And if you click Elliot S., you'll see that he worked in Wilderness.
Oh.
And so these people are kind of connected.
Yeah. So I looked at Jason, the director, and his little bio with Adele. They are together. Husband and wife. Really great picture too. If you want to, just fantastic. Like these are the people I want transporting my kid. I mean, are you kidding me? Seriously.
This is so fucked up.
So, Jason, director for JAS, he has worked with youth since the late 80s. He began interventions in transporting youth in the late 80s. See? Okay. I can't even begin to understand what's going on here. You read the fucking sentence, and it says, Jason has worked with youth since the late 80s, period. Next sentence. He also began interventions in transporting youth in the late 80s, period. Why would anyone hire that guy to do anything? What is going on here? His educational background is in social work, and he has been a youth counselor at Valley Mental Health. Okay, well, there's something we can look into right now. I'm going to copy that. And other hospitals in northern Utah. Okay. And then Adele. Adele has worked with young women, youth groups. Okay. See, I'm doing it again. I have to stop and actually go back and really think about what it is that I'm reading here. Because I'm going to start over the sentence.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no punctuation, by the way. It just says, Adele has worked with young women youth groups since the late 80s, period. She helps those young women believe in themselves and accomplish their goals. She currently manages approximately 100 employees in her regular full-time position. Her hobbies are her children and spending time with her family. She likes to play softball and volleyball through recreational leagues. These are the directors of Journey's Adolescent Services, Teen Crisis Intervention, and Oh, dude! Scroll up and look at the headline again. Teen Crisis Intervention / what does that say?
Transition escorts.
It does not say transportation escorts.
No, it says transition.
What does that mean?
I guess like the child is transitioning from living at home a normal life into living an institutional life. I mean, I don't know.
No. I mean, it's just really poorly written.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Because it really, you go like, what's a transition escort?
Right.
Transition to what? That's really weird. You could actually be really like stupid and throw this up like on Twitter or something and claim that these people are helping kids transition.
Yes.
Like you could make that argument and say, no, look, they say it themselves. They're escorting your kid to become trans, bro.
Yes.
Like that's goofy. Okay, well, so that's 2 out of, and then all those bios of these agents. Good Lord.
I mean, most of them worked in detention facilities.
I would think.
A lot of them worked in TTI.
Joe and Maureen F. They're a team. Now, check this out. See, I'm right. It's a mistake. Because look at Jose and Maureen.
Hold on, I'm trying to find them. Where are they on this list?
Well, they're the third row, third down.
Okay.
Okay, so check out Joe and Maureen.
Third row, third down. Hold on.
They're the only other people with two names.
Oh, yeah. Got it.
So there they are, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what does it say? It says Teen Crisis Intervention and Transport Escorts.
Yeah.
So these people, I guess they're not part of the transition team? They're the transport people, but...
Right.
Oh, my God. Yeah, and then it says Jose F., and then it says Iose, known as Joe.
Yeah.
Wait, what's his name?
Iose.
But I thought his name was Joe. I thought it was Joe, but it says his name is Jose.
God, that's so weird. That's
weird.
funny.
I mean, it's funny, right? But it's not funny because these are the people that are transporting these kids.
I know.
And what that tells me is, is that there's no telling what these people are doing on the road. That's what it tells me. We have no idea.
Yes.
Now, here's another weird one. Look at Alyssa G. And she's in the first row, fourth down.
Okay.
This woman should be ashamed of herself.
Alyssa worked with At-Risk Youth.
She's a counselor.
Wow. Yeah.
And she has received additional training in crisis management and de-escalation. Wait a minute, she has a master's degree in counseling. So why would she need additional training in crisis management and de-escalation? As well as CPR.
She's also a wilderness. She's a wilderness first responder.
As well as she's got an MA in counseling, but also CPR. What? And first aid, just to be safe. Alyssa, and she likes hiking, travel, kayaking, camping, and riding her motorcycle.
Long walks on the beach, anal sex, all that. Yeah.
I always want to look at one more.
What about Lexi? Lexi doesn't have a last name at all. Lexi has a passion for working with at-risk youth and children with disabilities. She has worked with since 2004. This is horrible English.
She has worked with since 2014.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
She's trained in CPR and therapeutic crisis intervention. Her hobbies are planning game nights.
That's her hobby?
With family, watching movies with roommates, and eating crab's legs.
Wait, her hobby is planning game nights?
Yeah. She doesn't like to partake in them, she just likes to plan them.
She's sitting over in the corner eating crab legs. Watching movies. Okay, go on. What is she passionate about?
She's passionate about spending time with loved ones. She's currently finishing up her last year at Sam Houston University, majoring in occupational therapy, and one of her future goals is to be in private practice.
Okay. I wouldn't hire this person to do anything.
No.
Not a damn thing. I wouldn't hire this person.
I might hire her to plan my game night.
She might be pretty good at it since it's her hobby.
Yeah. But that doesn't say a whole lot.
God damn.
This page is a mess. Like, I keep, if I scroll down super fast, I get a white thing at the bottom of it.
Yeah, it's really terrible. And it makes me wonder, I just don't understand. I really just don't get it. How can this company exist?
Don't know. There's a lot of money in this shit. There's a lot of money.
Yeah, well, they're not showing it on their website, that's for sure.
No.
For God's sake, start a Wix website. I mean, what is that? Okay, here's something. I don't know what this is. Because I just Googled Journey's Adolescent Services controversy, kind of to see what would pop up. And what I got was read the violation reports and inspections for Utah's troubled teen treatment centers. It's this, looks like a radio? I don't know. KUER 90.1, published March 4th, 2021. State of Utah Department of Human Services, Office of Licensing. It's just this little article about how thousands of children are sent away to Utah for treatment at, quote, troubled teen centers and wilderness programs, but it has been hard to identify what places have good track records and which don't. So it goes on to say that the Utah's Office of Licensing inspects and regulates each facility and sometimes finds neglect, child abuse, or sexual misconduct. That information should be easy to get, but it hasn't been until now. This is from like 2.5 years ago. I don't know. The Salt Lake City Tribune is making public thousands of inspection and critical incident reports in this free searchable database. This is possible because of the donations from more than 100 people. I didn't know about this. This money paid for the state to fulfill records requests. Other states have made similar databases public, but Utah requires people who want to see these records to pay for the cost of redacting private information, such as the names of children receiving treatment. So there's this little kind of it looks like a little searchable database on this website. It's KUER.org.
KUER.org.
And then I don't know where that will take you. You might have to use search after that.
No. Yeah, no, that just takes me to KUER?
KUER.org, yep.
That takes me to a radio station.
Yeah, and hit the search thing.
Okay. Search.
And type in, just type in Troubled Teen. See what comes up.
Okay. Republican Celeste Malloy wins the special election for Utah District.
I'm just going to send you the link. Hold on.
Yeah, that'll work. Thank you.
Thank you. Come again.
Thank you. Come again.
I typed in it in the search. I typed in Journeys because I wanted to see if the transportation company would come up.
Yeah.
But it gave me nothing. So.
I'm going to type in Heritage. See what we get.
Heritage Community School. There it is. You see it?
Is it showing?
Yep. Heritage.
Yep. Yep.
178 beds, 8 critical incidents. That's all you see, though. You don't get details apparently. That's cool, though. I mean, because that gives some kind of reason to look into what those 8 critical incidents were.
Well, I know one of them was a kid's arm being broken by a staff member who I
hold on a second.
despise.
Wait, I'm wrong. Holy shit, dude. Okay, go back.
Yeah.
Go back to the report. Click on. Hold on. Go to Heritage. And then
I got it. I got it. I see the PDF.
It goes to a Google Drive. Yeah. It goes to the reports. You can download those.
Holy shit.
That's great. Okay. We found it. We found a great database.
Yeah, this is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Good shit.
It is good shit. And that came about because I was looking for dirt on these idiots.
Yeah.
At the last transportation place, Journeys. Huh. That's so interesting that me typing in Journeys, but adolescent services, controversies gave me that.
But I'm not seeing a whole lot in these files. It's just mostly rules.
Well,
and things that they have to amend by.
Well, and then remember, there is stuff in these reports that. Well, hold on. I clicked on the first one. Heritage Schools Inc. Start date 7. Okay, lead. I, John Ortiz, received an envelope addressed to me from Heritage Schools on July 3rd, 2017. Inside the envelope were 2 grievances from blank. stating she wanted me to address concerns at the program and that her rights are being violated. In what way, her note stated she was being emotionally and verbally abused. The envelope was mailed to the office by the Heritage Program. Clients involved, blank. There's reports. Oh, there's full-on reports.
Okay, cool.
Oh, wow, yeah. Phase
Cool.
1, Phase 2. These are internal reports. Conclusion summary. The Heritage School program has taken the necessary steps to come into compliance with the Office of Licensing Administrative Rule. So, yep. This is good.
Cool.
All right. So that was a nice thing to accidentally come across.
Nice. I'm going to save this for sure.
Yeah, pin that. Pin that. There we go. Pin it. Pin that tab. Okay. All right. Let's see. Who's next? I think it's Ready Transport. REDI.
Ready Transport. REI. Okay.
REDI, yeah. Hold on.
REDI. Ready Transport. REDI. Hold on a second. Let me get my search bar up. REDI Transport.
This is the big one. These are like the pros.
Okay. Yeah, I can see their website is very pro. Look at that.
Right, but there's so Crystal Cook is the she's the president, but let's see.
They've been in business for 16 years. They've served 239 customers.
Is that what it says? Doesn't seem
at
like
the bottom of their site. Years of combined experience, 125 plus.
Oh, I hate that shit.
On-time transports over one. It looks like they're saying they've done 1 million on-time transports, 1 million plus. So that can't be 239 customers.
No, they're out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. It looks like too.
Okay.
All right. So where are you seeing all that?
On readytransports.com. Ready-transports.com.
Yeah. Am I in the homepage?
Go to the very bottom of the page.
Okay. I'm on the homepage now, yep. The industry's most responsive and trusted provider of behavioral health and prisoner transport solutions.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're all over the place. Yeah, these guys have got all the contracts.
Yeah.
Part of this is now the customers served are like clients, like states, like agencies. Those like prisons. Those are clients, right? So they're transporting like thousands of like prisoners.
Yeah.
All right. So whatever. They're like a prison transportation company. But they also, do, what does it say? Reliable behavioral transports. Juveniles to adults, they do it all. But the issue with them, really, what the issue was, that they're transporting these kids at all. They're accepting these contracts at all. REDI Transports has specialized in youth transport since 2005. Go-to partner for social workers, mental health professionals, and court administrators. Right. So these people, they also claim to be de-escalation experts and all that stuff, crisis intervention management. But again, they have a patient trigger assessment, apparently. So they do like a survey probably with the parents and do, I guess, what would be considered a trigger assessment to customize how they're going to transport the person in the less stressful environment possible.
Right.
Right. Probably with, my guess would be in a lot of cases, medicalized. that kind of thing. If they're going to plan it like that, they're going to want to calm these kids down. Okay, so the issue with them. All right, so let's take a look at, because you're not going to find anything much about this company from their website, because the website's a little too slick to really get much information out of, other than, I guess, if we could look up bios, kind of that may be just as dumb as the last ones were, but but looking at the LinkedIn profile for Crystal M.H. Cook, she's been the president of this company for 7 years and 6 months. Prior to that, it looks like she spent 6 months as the director of organizational development at Ready Transports, also doing business as Wisconsin Lock and Load Prisoner Transports. And then prior to that, for 4 years, she was
this says it's a truck transportation company. Are you talking about the one in Green Bay?
Yeah. REDI Transports LLC.
Yeah, it says it's a truck transportation. Oh, no,
Nope.
Yeah, okay. Got it. Never mind.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
'Cause I saw that too at first. I was like, oh, no, that's not the same thing. All right, so prior to that, from 2012 to 2016, she was a teaching and learning coordinator at the Howard Swamico School District for 4 years. She was a teaching coordinator of some kind. I don't know what that means exactly, but at a school district, and then suddenly she was the organizational development officer and president of a giant prisoner transportation company. Yeah, that's weird. She claims to have a master's degree from 2 different schools.
Yeah.
I don't know what, that seems odd. St. Norbert College and Concordia University. Hold on a second. Concordia University. That's one of those TV universities, isn't it?
You think so?
Concordia University is a Lutheran higher education community committed to helping students develop in mind, body, and spirit for service to Christ. So she has a master's degree in Christ.
Mm.
Well, that's what it says. I'm not saying that. She is.
Yeah. What's St. Norbert?
Let's check that out too. My guess it would be more Jesus. A top-ranked Catholic liberal arts college. Okay. Okay, it's a real school. It's a Catholic university. The issue is, well, okay, she has a bachelor's. It says she has a BA in education, and then a master's, I guess, in education. It doesn't say.
Yeah.
So, but still, I don't understand how that translates. I mean, I can understand how it would translate into being a teaching and learning coordinator at a school district. That seems like a reasonable thing. But then suddenly to become the director of organizational development at a prisoner transportation company? That seems like a big leap.
Check your messages. Just for now. Sorry I'm interrupting.
Oh, yeah. No, me too. Yeah, we'll wrap it up because I mean we could do this for like this is the third one. There's only one more, but we can close it out at this. Hold on, let's see. I'm closing tabs. Is what I'm doing. All right, so. And a lot of this stuff goes back to sequel, too, by the way. As we
how so?
They're the ones who really pioneered the transport stuff.
Got you.
Like as far as like hold on, I may be totally wrong with that. Hold on.
I think you are, but yeah.
No, it was one of those. It was one of those accidental things that kind of like led us to that database. But no, this is actually interesting because this is a thing I haven't seen before. This is from April of last year. Under scrutiny, a company that claimed to help troubled youth closes many operations and sells others. So this is just basically about sequel kind of. Dissolving itself. Yeah, which is, I guess, what they did last year in a lot of ways. But they kind of are doing like weird things like rebranding, too.
Yeah.
So that's one to also like kind of put a pin in. Okay, Ready Transports. This is the thing. They lost. They've lost murderers and people and prisoners that they've been transporting before. It's happened more than once. Like
lost them.
In 2020, the guy jumped through an open window in the van while the vehicle was stopped at McDonald's. 22-year-old killer. He was being moved from one prison to another, and he ran off and wasn't shackled.
Right.
So that's not a good sign. And the reason it's not a good sign is because we don't want the teens. Certainly, we don't want teens shackled and mistreated in that fashion. But we also don't want adult prisoners who are very dangerous free. So what it does, it just points out again that these places do not do what they say they do.
Right.
I'm sure there are unreported incidents all the time of whether it's for a long period of time or short period of time where teens and everybody else like escapes. I'm sure they have incidents like this more often than they disclose. Of course, you can't have you can't have teens and other people running around loose when they're supposed to be going somewhere else. That's just incompetence.
Right.
So maybe the big company is just incompetent. And there's only one more to look at, and it's called Next Step Youth Transport Services, and I think we're just going to hold off on that because we already know exactly what we'll find. The same thing. Like exactly the same thing. Yeah. A Mima who loves Jesus, who wants to save all the kids, and has decided that the best way to do that is to load them all into a van and take them to a quiet place in a wood-paneled room.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just leave them there for a while.
Or just not know a whole lot about where they're taking them, but pretend like they do and pretend like they're professional about doing it all.
Well, it's kind of like, it's kind of like when people pass away, people often say, well, at least they're now in a better place.
Yeah.
Right, that's what they tell themselves.
It's just like that. Yeah,
that's exactly what they tell themselves. They're like, well, at least they're out of the horrible situation that they were in previously with their whatever awful situation they were in with their parents or their girlfriend or whoever. Yeah, at least they're in a better place now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next step. I think you're just do me a favor real quick before we'll just end it here. Can you look up nextstepyouth.transport.com?
Yes, hold on a second. Let me look that up.
And then I'm going to use this nextstepyouth.transport.com picture without really going into what they are as the there we go. Oh yeah. That's it. Look at those people. And I love the disclaimer on this one too. That's the best part. With next, and that's all that needs to be said about next step.
Please know we only provide transport services to programs, rehab centers, wilderness programs, and therapeutic boarding schools. We are not a program.
We would never associate ourselves with a program like that.
Yeah, we don't fix your kid. We're not about that. We're just about starting the process of fixing your kid.
No, and they really want to emphasize that they are not a program. I mean, that's capitalized and underlined. I mean, you're like, oh no, not us. We couldn't bring ourselves to do anything that terrible. But
this site is pretty fucking terrible too, actually.
It's
like
really
in transition
terrible.
to each page, it goes back to like the building block of the site. So
yeah, it's terrible. And then if you scroll down on the first page, again at the very bottom, it says, "Please note, we are not a program. We only provide youth intervention transport services to programs, rehab centers, wilderness programs, and therapeutic boarding schools."
Yeah,
they are not a program.
It's like on every page. They're not a program.
Yeah, you know what? I want to give a final shout out before we stop this to the wonderful people at Aquarius Designs Inc., who designed this wonderful website for these people.
Yeah.
It's great. Man, if you ever want a good website design, please check out Aquarius Designs Inc., because they're the best.
Well, it's happened again.
This happened on Tuesday, and we know it was really hot that day.
All right,
Marcus.
Joining us live in the alert
Very
center.
nice.
How long did you last in a hot car?
Very nice.
Back
Oh,
at
I'm
the
looking
heat
at
index
the
that
Aquarius
day
Designs
was 105 degrees.
Hot car. You don't know about a potential third suspect who was seen speeding away from federal agents at the scene. The whole thing had been a mystery to neighbors.
Hot car.
This is not an accident. This is pure negligence.